the purpose of starting the business, it wasn't about basically sort of like making money, but it was about changing lives. That was the purpose of starting the business, is to change lives. If you are to see like that young man there, he just finished what do you call it, high school, and he was out there in the streets, and then we took him. Here he is right now. He's getting something from us, he's earning. So we brought him here, and he's starting his new life here in Vicforce. So the purpose of the business was to change lives. Yeah. We are Toyota Pitstop, the wild dogs. We don't rest until we win.
I'm a Zimbabwean trying to start a business, and little did I know that you know, it was fate. It's been a long journey. I have a passion for all things food. I'm a chef by profession, but you know, just had this burning desire to get my own business going, and it's been a struggle. Finding capital, living in Zimbabwe, all the socioeconomic issues, very difficult for startups. It didn't take long for me to realize that, you know, this was a God thing. 2 locations now. You know, we're pushing strong, and you know, we got 5 members of staff now. So much has happened in such a short space of time, and it's just been an awesome experience. Welcome to Simba's Bakery.
Thanks to Meta and Tradition Bank for affording me the opportunity. I'm really excited. I'm Emmanuel. Welcome to my pig project here in Wanje.
I'm Loretta. I run Loretta's Coffee.
I'm TK, the man in the background. One of our dreams came true in terms of getting a roaster and setting up the roasting business. This is something we predicted would have taken us about 5 to 6 years to set up, and boom, we're up and running. Thanks to the work done by many. We hope others might also reap similar fruits. And who knows, your dreams might come true.
I'm so happy. And the secret is I make a little prayer before I end it. Yeah, so when I'm making it, pouring, I'm making a little prayer. When I finish, I'm adding it, and oh my God, I'll be like, God bless me. Make it very nice. Yeah, it makes me happy. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Loretta's Coffee Caravan!
I love it.
Thanks, guys. So I want to start by kicking this off. Dan, you are a very thoughtful and deliberate guy, and we met more than 10 years ago now through our great friend, Dennis Doyle. And he said, you got to meet Dan because this guy is a mover and shaker. And so we had breakfast, and I remember saying to you at breakfast, Dan, I really want you to consider going on a trip with me someday. And I think that was about 12 years ago that we had that conversation. And, you know, it took you a while, but 2 years ago we went to Africa together, and it was an incredible experience. You're going back in October this year. And could you just tell us a little bit, you finally got on that plane, went, and then all this incredible stuff happened with this loan project. Could you just tell us a little bit about how that trip impacted you, and then how this loan project has taken off and the vision you had for it?
Got it. Thanks, Q. A lot of this wouldn't have been possible without Dennis. He was very instrumental to me, Dennis and Megan, in starting it and bringing it to here. So I got to meet Q, and I would have gone to Africa sooner, but my wife and I have kids, and we just couldn't get away. So it finally came, but this was where Q had said, hey, Dan, let's go on a trip. And I just said, Q, we all have a lot of gifts. And if we do this, I think my faith's an important part of it. So we kind of brainstormed and came up with this Christian Business Leadership Forum that's now evolved into the Business as Mission. But obviously, I've heard in our company that we're with encourages people to go on insight and mission trips. And so I had heard, and I was telling others to go on these without myself ever going on a trip. So I thought I got to witness this firsthand. And, and you hear how transformational it is. And Terry, we had a great time there, by the way. But so many of you that we did. So how did this change me? I mean, we go there and first and foremost, if it wasn't for the vision of Dennis and Megan to make this happen, but then I'm, going on to Q and where you've taken Hope for the City, which is now Matter, but then you and Jay and others that Matter, investing your lives in Zimbabwe. None of these stories would be possible without you being on the ground, grassroots, opening your hearts, opening your doors, doing all the work. So when we came there, this was just an amazing opportunity to see relationships that you had built. And so through that, as we're there, and I don't know if I'm answering 10 questions or one, but I think the question was more, how did it lead to this coming? And so, so when we had gotten there, the one thing that got me to go there is we were dedicating it. For Dennis. And so that got me to go. But then God opened my heart in a lot of other ways, because when we got there and we met all these people, this idea came like, man, okay, so we're bankers and we like to be entrepreneurial. And so we said, you guys have all these relationships. What if we kind of gave you some loan funds and then you lend to these people? You know them all. We trust you. Take the money. Go make it happen. And I think that's kind of how it all started. Pretty simple.
We're going to talk to one of those business owners in just a second, but JP, before we do, you were there with your leadership team, all came to Zimbabwe. We had this 2-day conference as a Christian Business Summit. What surprised you as you got to have so many conversations with Zimbabwe business owners? What stood out to you?
Oh my gosh. As far as the individuals there, I was just struck by their character. A lot of the individuals that we met, a lot of them had actually moved away, but they came back because they cared so much about the country of Zimbabwe and the people there that I'm getting goosebumps, because when I see these videos and I see the people that we've met there, just their drive, their grit, I love ideas. They're so innovative. They're creative. They are just determined to make things work. And that was really inspiring for me.
Okay, so 11 loans, 36 jobs created was the outcome of that trip. You shared we had a chance to share the impact with the Tradition staff at the all-day staff thing this last fall. How does your team here in Minneapolis feel about that Africa trip and your Africa involvement with all these loans to business owners?
Like we at Tradition, we talk about doing insight trips, and we talk about just changing lives. Like we're about changing lives, and we just happen to do it through banking. And so for our individuals that work at the bank, for them to know that there's a greater purpose and the work that they're doing and being able to connect with these individuals is just everything.
That's so cool. Well, speaking of one of those, let's see if we can talk to Simba, who is like, I should say this too, we should all give him a hand of applause, because it's 1 a.m. in the morning where he's at, where Chandai is at. So let's just see if we can pull him up here.
Wow, where do I start? It's just been really, really such an amazing thing for me personally. From coming to a place where, you have a dream and an idea, and obviously not having the capital to get started. It was very difficult, and so it's completely transformed my life and the life of others here in Victoria Falls. We managed to get our artisanal bakery started with the loan money. We managed to get all the equipment that was necessary to get us going.
That's wonderful. So we saw this beautiful video with you in it, and I know that you have greater, grander plans. anything that you want to share with us of like where you want to take this bakery?
Yeah, so, you know, I think for me, you know, a little bit of my story, you know, I've been chefing for the last 15 years, mostly outside of Zimbabwe. I'm sure a lot of you all know the economic crisis that hit Zimbabwe over the last 30 years. And, you know, I don't know, you know, it's somewhere between, you know, living abroad, you know, I just felt it in my heart to move back home. And, you know, in situations like this, there's never a right time to move back home because the situation hasn't changed much. But again, I think for me, you know, obviously you're starting a business, but you know, the bigger plan, I guess, is you know, trying to train up a new generation of young chefs, because in Zimbabwe you'll find a lot of young people are, you know, they finish their education and there's no job opportunities. So the first thing is to leave the country, and so we've got quite a massive drain of young talented young people leaving the country for opportunities outside. So I think the big goal for me was also to basically, try and make a difference and change and train up. You know, I was fortunate to you know, work for some fantastic hotel companies while I was abroad, and you know, so coming back home, it's you know, it's just been in my heart to you know, to train up and you know, expose a lot of young and upcoming chefs.
Very cool. Well, Simba, I mean, first of all, you're being way too modest when he says he has international experience. He was actually the head chef at Four Seasons in both Dubai and in Serengeti. This guy's a world-class chef, and he's had an amazing opportunity. He took 2 loans and now has 9 people working for him. So Simba, thanks for all you do, and an amazing job. Keep going forward. Appreciate it.
No pleasure.